My highlight of replaying Super Mario Galaxy 2 for this video was my first session with it. I'm not saying the rest of the game fell short, quite the contrary in fact, but it's been quite a few years since I last played it, and even though I've always considered this to be one of my favourites, it wasn't until I was exploring these stages again accompanied by that music that I realised I'd forgotten just how brilliant it is. Coming back to it after all this time was like falling in love with video games all over again. I had a big grin on my face, my heart was doing triple somersaults with delight at every leap and jump being performed. It felt glorious, and it really set the tone for the rest of the playthrough. This may not be my absolute favourite game, although trust me, it is up there. But Super Mario Galaxy 2 to me is the ultimate level pack, a collection of stages with no other goal in mind other than presenting the player with pure, unadulterated fun. But it's not just fun, it's fun with boundless creativity and a huge scale of adventure which just leaves me so excited. There was this part where I was using the drill to get to the lower part of the stage, but I felt so giddy playing the game that I accidentally shook the Wii remote in excitement and drilled back down again. It's an emotion best encapsulated when performing a long jump or spinning the Wii remote to use a launch star. That's Galaxy 2 in a nutshell, an exhilarating to perform burst of joyous energy. It's as addictive now as it was to me playing for the first time all those years ago. No session reaches its final few minutes without me thinking, I'll just get one more star, then I'll have a break. It was one of the first games I properly obsessed over. I'd be eager to boot it up as soon as I got home from school, and I even recall on a few nights before bed turning the volume on the TV down so I could get up early to play some more. I never actually did, but that's just how much I wanted to stay immersed in it. There was also this instructional DVD which came with the game, which I'd sometimes watch even though I didn't actually need the help, and I'd also flick through the instruction booklet on occasion too. Yeah, remember those? Truth be told, I miss the days of instruction booklets, particularly when they'd explain about the story and characters in a memorable way. Nintendo used to be great at that, even when their games had little plot. I still need to properly divulge in the original game, as I've heard it has more story than any other main entry Mario adventure, but I always loved how 2's opening was described in the manual. Mario's heart pounded with excitement as he ran through the grassy fields amongst the falling stardust. What a lovely way to describe such a simple opener. It really fueled my imagination when I was younger to what Mario would be thinking throughout the beginning parts of the game. Yeah, okay, am I the only one who'd do that? Many of my favourite games would have me talking in the character's voice whilst I played, saying what I'd think they'd be feeling at every turn. That's quite a wonderful thing thinking back on it though. Mario is a basic game protagonist, but the creativity of the world, or in this case universe, he treks through and the cutesy designs of the life forms encountered across them gave the game a charming personality which hooked me into this venture and inspired me creatively at the time too. Even if it's still your basic Peach kidnapping affair, travelling from galaxy to galaxy aboard the Starship Mario with Lubba, the Lumas, the Toad Brigade, and the extra passengers and items you accumulate on your journey makes it feel like you're on a grander adventure than any of the other times you've gone to rescue the princess from Bowser. And it's a great, cozy hub to be at in between star hunting, particularly for how the theme gradually becomes more triumphant every 2 worlds you beat. By the end, the added gusto of the drumbeat and horns are practically cheering you on to face the final challenges. Getting to pilot it as well and leaping into control of the ship to the galaxy map feels so good. The music hit. Do I really need to tell you how amazing it is? It embodies the game perfectly. It's monumental, cheeky, intimidating, atmospheric, and completely magical. The soundtrack for games and films are very important to me because the very best will often condense all the feelings of the experiences into a microcosm of sounds. The orchestral boost here works wonders, capturing the enthusiastic imagination of these levels flawlessly. And I regretted not discussing Batman v Superman soundtrack in more detail, so screw it. I'm gonna point out the very effective pattern I noticed many of these tracks have. Most of my favourite scores in this game are the really huge sounding ones, Sky Station Galaxy, Cloudy Calm, etc. They begin with a love for adventure, focusing on the thrill of facing new trials and tribulations, but partway through they take a moment to process the beauty of it all, the vastness of the space backdrop, before it crescendos victoriously. Then there's the likes of Bowser Jr.'s theme, which begins with a playfulness emphasizing the childish nature of the child character, but the next motif showcases his threatening side too, perfect for the final level in a world. It's wonderfully done, and I don't think there's a single track in the game which doesn't highlight the beauty, excitement, or mood of the unique settings to an unforgettable degree. The Mario games have always had great imagination to them both before and after this one, yet none of them have as consistent a hit rate for creativity like this one does. Hitting a switch and turning a lava planet to ice, making the panels flip over, Rock Mario being used like a bowling ball, Yoshi lighting invisible ground, sliding down a giant tree, I absolutely loved that level, being forced upwards or downwards by marked sections. And that's just scratching the surface. I love the no-holds-barred enthusiasm Nintendo has here. Mario is uber satisfying to control with a moveset basic yet versatile enough to accommodate every inventive idea the game throws at you. That combined with the dynamicness of the stages, which shift between spherical planetoids, 2D planes, conventional 3D platforming environments, as well as more open stages akin to Sunshine in 64, quite literally the latter too, along with the classic power-ups, enemies, the inclusions of Yoshi, and even Luigi, it makes it all seem like the ultimate Mario experience. It's a very vibrant game, always innovating itself to retain the thrilling amazement felt in those opening stages. But beyond the incredible mechanics found in the levels themselves, what I've grown to appreciate, which also plays a large part in that success, is how the world map quietly tinkers with the order and number of galaxies you can visit at once per world. Having the hungry Luma who transforms into a new galaxy once you've fed it enough star bits as well is a great feature, which really highlights how the game is built upon a sense of discovery. The fun of progressing through the map is seeing what each galaxy offers in terms of visuals and gameplay gimmicks, before the game necessitates returning to them to accumulate enough power stars to reach the boss fortress, discovering how much variety even familiar ground can offer when collecting each star in the process. It's a clever formula which is at its most effective in the special world. Needing 10 stars to get to the next post-game galaxy offers legit incentive to go back to previous areas to discover all the greatness you missed out on, and it's kept me coming back to get the comet medals and partake in the often very challenging prankster comet levels. Oh, good lord, I almost forgot about how incredibly difficult this game gets. There's times where I'm really put to the test in attempting to master a situation through skill which gradually evolves with every death, especially with the mini-games of all things. Can it get frustrating? Sure, this Yoshi section in Bowser's Galaxy Generator might have caused me to rage quit at this part, but it is a rush nevertheless. I'm glued to the screen, impatient to try again. And the buzz you get when finally overcoming a tough part is really rewarding. So yeah, it's all part of the experience, but at the same time, Nintendo, you could have put a checkpoint after the speeding section so I didn't have to keep doing this bit again! Anyway, on the subject of that level, it's a really climactic finale encompassing so many of the established mechanics for one final test and set to music which really sets the scene for a final showdown where good will inevitably triumph over evil once hardships have been endured. And while the end Bowser battle, like the majority of the bosses in the game, isn't that hard, it's still, like every boss in the game, very satisfying to avoid the incoming attacks and inflict damage. And particularly with the build-up of the preceding level, the surprise second phase set to a dramatic choir, it's really quite thrilling to send the meteors flying at Bowser to defeat him and save the princess once and for all. Well, until the next game anyway. But hey, it's a gratifying ending. I really love how you can run about having fun during the credits. That small touch is the perfect bookend to a game which prioritizes fun above all else. And then this.
Thank you so much for playing my game!
What a sweet gesture, even if the pleasure was all mine. Super Mario Galaxy 2 is, I dare say, a video game distilled to its purest form, offering escapist entertainment as a means to explore distant lands for a sense of accomplishment and mastery. It's one of the most endlessly entertaining games I've ever played, a journey amongst the stars which seems to have been born from the limitless sense of possibilities you feel as a kid when first discovering this art form. This is a complete package seemingly devoid of any technical or budgetary restraints, Nintendo eagerly taking you to the most wonderfully outlandish worlds to do the most wonderfully outlandish things with the ease of which they were thought up. It's the promise of what video games can be fulfilled, and perhaps that's ultimately why it always has and always will spark my gaming soul alight. Super Mario Galaxy! Woohoo! I don't know why I did that.